Good morning and welcome to the first look. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Brandon Best and you guys are viewing us on Real TV. I want to say good and pleasant good morning going out to all of the parents out there getting themselves ready for Christmas season. Your children are home from school, but I'm certain they are ready for the week ahead. All right, so guys, it is a beautiful Wednesday here in the Caribbean, and so much things are happening around the world. But you must know that on the first look, we're going to give you everything local, regional, and international. No Christmas parang this morning, but we're going to make sure to have it done on Friday. All right, well, let's take a look at today's news day. And let's see what's happening on the front page. All right. So we see here blockade on Venezuelan oil ships. We see that the U.S. has placed some blockades on Venezuelan oil ships, and we know that the tensions have been rising on the seas, and there has been some potential issues. We saw yesterday with our Prime Minister giving access to the U.S. For them to be able to bring in more aircrafts and vessels in our waters as the tensions rise. We also see now some blockades on the Venezuelan oil ships. So we're going to look at that a little bit in a short while. As well, hundreds seek food, housing, rent assistance from NGOs. They say, help us for Christmas. Members of the public stand in line at the Salvation Army's food hamper distribution at Salvation Army's headquarters on Henry Street, Port of Spain, on December 16th. I had the opportunity to just look a little bit at the article, and hopefully we can get, one or two of the persons on the line. We had a conversation happening here, all the way from Avenel Hector Joseph from Is There Not a Cause? And, in her conversation with the Newsday, she's saying that, some organizations for the Christmas season have been practically strained as this year, while they, as an organization, usually have their clientele. Because, they normally do charity throughout the year, giving food, giving hampers, trying to help families across. In particular, this article is stating that for this year, a lot of persons have been reaching out for help. Not only just for help, but also for housing and rental assistance. Avenel Hector Joseph also stating that, they have 2 housing facilities currently, and also 1 guest house, but all of them currently are filled. That is a pretty sad news in our country. Also, Salvation Army says that the demand is exceeding the supply. I mean, that is some drastic stuff here, because it says that they normally do about 600 hampers to be distributed, and another 400, so roughly they would do about 1,000. But the requests that are coming in is so much that they don't even know what to do. According to the article in particular, it's saying that because of loss of work, instability in the economy, especially the fact that persons don't have, the standard of living has been changed, and the downturn within our economy has really impacted on the lives of family. So even persons that you would have not really genuinely have on an annual basis in need of Christmas supplies and help and hampers and food supplies. Now we have a lot more families that are on the breadline, and this is credible information here as to what is taking place inside of our economy, and I think that we should pay a very close attention to that. ACP saddened by cop's arrest. We see that as well. I'm going to look a little bit more into that story. I also have a story that we're going to look at in this first segment. And the Cabo Star sold for search. well, there's a search now for a new boat. That's what's taking place on our Newsday front page. If you guys get the opportunity to make sure you go to pick up one. Let's go to the back. Let's see what's happening on our back page. We see Detroit Pistons guard Jaden Ivey drives to the basket past Boston Celtics guard Anthony Simons during the first half of the NBA on December 15th. In Boston, Pistons won 112 to 105. So all the Piston fans out there, congratulations to you. You know, this is sports season, basketball season, premier. You know, we have cricket as well. We also have a bit of a sad news to share. Ex-TT cricketer, footballer Kenny Furlong passes away. So we want to say condolences to his family. And also, you know, we want to thank those who would have been close to him and even encourage him to be an ambassador for the support, for the sport, that, you know, his life and his legacy will continue. And we pray that we give the family strength and condolences at this time. We got some news as well in the cricket arena, and we're going to check on that in a short while. So, a couple of developments here in our country and around the region. A particular article as well I saw, I read online where we saw Bermuda and Antigua. They seem to have some challenges happening now with their U.S. Visa. So good morning to all of you guys out there in Antigua. Good morning to our friends in Bermuda, Bahamas, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts, St. Martin, Anguilla, yeah, Costa Rica, you know, all of our friends, Puerto Rico, Curacao, everybody. Good morning to you guys. So we see statements coming out from the Prime Minister of Antigua and Bermuda, the Honorable Gaston Brown, on the U.S. visa restriction. He's saying that the government of Antigua and Bermuda has taken careful note of a proclamation issued by the government of the United States suspending with effect from 12:01 a.m. on January 1st, 2026, the issuance of United States visas to nationals of Antigua and Barbuda. We are deeply disappointed that Antigua and Barbuda has been included in this proclamation on the stated ground that our citizenship by investment program has historically operated without a residency requirement. That assertion does not reflect the present reality of our laws. Over the past year, Antigua and Barbuda has worked closely and constructively with several departments of the United States government to strengthen safeguards within our citizenship by investment program. We have engaged in good faith, accepted practical suggestions, and taken concrete steps to ensure that our program presents no risk whatsoever to security of the United States. So, for those who may not understand, you know, some of the dynamics that is happening here, there are certain countries I know of, like St. Kitts, Antigua, and Barbuda, where you can get your investment program, where you could get your passport and like citizenship. But what they're stating here is a lot of the persons who get their passports through this investment program, it is not as though they're getting it without having a residency requirement. However, this is somewhat the assumption or the assertion that's been made coming out of the U.S. camp. And the Prime Minister actually is stating that that's not true, and that they have been working closely with the United States to ensure that you know, there is some measures of protection, so that if someone does come and invest into Antigua and Barbuda and do get their citizenship and a passport, that allows them to have easier access to U.S. visas to fly back and forth. But that person, they are not just simply doing that because they have money, but they do have to go through a vetting process, get their residency requirements all in as well. So a couple of developments in our, you know, cousin islands, and we look forward to seeing how this progress. So to you out there in Antigua and Barbuda, we do pray that the situation is resolved, as it can put a damper on quite a number of economic activity and things that are happening in those islands. So we look forward to hear more about that as time progresses. All right, so we got some burning topics and some stories for today. Today's going to be a great one. As you all know, Brandon Best, this is my this is the third day, the third show of the First Look, and I do hope that you guys have been enjoying it thus far. Feel free, our number is on the screen, 744-7325. At any point in time that you'd like to chime in on our conversation, where we try our best to give you guys real news, real situations, real resolutions with real people. All right? So, we have a story that we were able to look at, an incident that took place on December 10th. And I came here with some questions. Hopefully, when we come back from the break, we may be able to get someone on the line to speak about it. But I'm just going to give you guys a quick brief before we touch on it. But a police officer reported as assigned to the anti-extortion unit, and another man were detained in a boat along the Caroni River on December 10th and later charged with multiple firearm-related offenses. Newsday reported that the officer was charged with 6 offenses, including possession and transfer of ammunition, possession of a police service shotgun without authorization, and possession of a police service ammunition without authorization. I mean, these are some things that we need to ask. It also says that Newsday also reports investigators said that the officer had unauthorized weapons plus 2 licensed firearms, that one licensed firearm was allegedly given to a second man who had it tucked in his waistband. According to other reports, both men are expected to appear at the Hall of Justice on Wednesday, which is today, December 17th, and that the arrests were due to an exercise in the Caroni district. This is a lot to unpack, quite a lot to unpack, because we need to look at some things. I'm going to ask some questions when we come back from the break, but you know, it's pretty strange what's happening in our country. And when you hear things like possessions of ammunition and guns and police officer, and you realize that these things are unauthorized, obviously it begs the question, you know, how is that possible? You know, how is it possible that someone, a member of the protective services, someone that is charged with ensuring our safety, how do they get access to all of these guns and ammunition? You know, in this article as well, it says, at least it points to the fact that this particular case is not related to the $171 million marijuana Caroni bus that happened not too far from where they were able to apprehend these suspects. But I mean, it begs the question. I think it's almost natural that you may assume that there may be some linkage. However, according to reports, it is said that they're not affiliated, but something is happening. We need to get some answers for it. Okay. Well, guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to dive a little bit more into these stories. Hopefully, we get the opportunity to speak with one of our NGOs concerning the help that has been demanded from the public. I know a lot of persons are in need, and hopefully we can get one of them on the line to be able to chat with us and tell us a little bit more about what the climate of our economy is right now, and what people are facing, and the cry of our citizens. My name is Brandon Best. You guys are on the First Look right here on Real TV, weekdays 6 to 8:30 a.m., where we give you the real conversations. Guys, we're going to see you guys soon when we come back.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stanker, Transformational Life Coach. Join me on Elevate with Coach Steve as we transform your mindset, build mental and emotional resilience, and help you rise into your best self. Every Tuesday from 9 a.m. right here on Real TV. Let's elevate together.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big.
Welcome back to the First Look right here on Real TV. I'm your host, Brandon Best, and guys, we have quite a number of things that we're dealing with on this Wednesday, beautiful Wednesday. It's just about 25 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. That means that you guys should be up right now, getting ready to set the kids in order, get your little breakfast. I don't know about you all, I need to do a little bit better, and I think we're going to do that here to help keep ourselves accountable. I had to get a little bit more breakfast, and I really like breakfast, but I don't get the opportunity to eat sometimes, the way that I'd want to. But I know that there's some huge coffee lovers out there. Some persons, they can just sip a nice cup of coffee, and that's it for the day. Some persons, they need to have a little doubles, proper little doubles coming out in the morning. Big up to all of our entrepreneurs and doubles vendors and businesses out making their business happen very early in the morning. We appreciate you. Some persons may need a nice cup of tea, or those are nice tea bags. I know there are some other persons, they do fruits on a morning. I hope that everything that you want this morning for your breakfast and for your nutrients, you got it. Most importantly, start the day right. Take some time, say a little prayer. Meditate if you have to, but get your brain and your functions right so that you set your tone for your day. And we know that right here on Real TV, on The First Look, we do our best to help you and ensure that you have a great morning. So we're going to head back to our conversation. And this one it's really an important discussion that we're having here. So before we went to the break, we looked at this the police officer that was involved in this bus. And there are a couple of things that I think we need to pay attention to. The news reports that he was charged with 6 offenses. And here are the couple of things that he is charged with. 1, possession and transfer of ammunition. Possession of a police service shotgun without authorization. And possession of a police service ammunition without authorization. In recent times, we've heard about home invasions. We've also heard incidences of people coming in uniforms, wearing police uniforms, even government, branded uniforms to persons' homes, and deceiving them, obviously, to be able to carry out their criminal dues. And I think that this is something that we need to be concerned about, because if it is in our protective service, especially the police service, we have officers who are able to literally leave the compound with firearms, ammunition, a shotgun. These type of things are questionable, especially being able to leave with a uniform. We want to be able to get proper answers concerning that, to find out, what is happening. Because I would be concerned. As a citizen, I am very concerned. And I have some questions for those that are in authority. Hopefully, we are trying to reach one of the DCPs currently. But I think that there are some important questions that the public would need to know, would like to have answered. Because can you imagine you are walking the street and someone who you assume to be a police officer comes dressed in uniform, having a weapon, and then utilize it for their own wicked and criminal gain? That puts a level of distrust within the public space, because now we don't know who is police. It affects the brand of the uniform, because the truth is that I don't know who's walking next to me. If a police officer could walk into the police service in their armory and could literally walk out with weapons without authorization, far less for me. And then we ask ourselves, how did these things get into circulation? Yeah. Not too far away from this bus, you also had the Newsday reporting on the massive 171 million marijuana seizure in the nearby Caroni Swamp. Now, let me just give you guys some context. While the report is that they aren't related, the reality is they were just hours apart. You understand that? So, it begs the question, allegedly, could the police officer and that man somehow be trying to make their way from this this seizure? Did they have an idea about it? Did they know? Just hours before, there was the marijuana seizure, huge bust, and then hours later, you get a police officer with possession of ammunition and guns with another man. Very, very suspicious, the timing. Very, very weird in which this all is playing out in the public space. But I think that there's more to be said on it. And I need to understand, for those who are down in the Caroni Riverside, it seems to be having a lot of activity down there. I think more clarity has to be given to, the utilization of what is happening, why it seems to have so much illegal activity happening down in that Caroni vicinity. And I believe that that's something that we need to pay attention to. But I have some questions. And I know we were trying our best to see if we can get DCP on the phone. Hopefully we do see if we could get that. I know they responded via our phone lines here. But this phone wants to give up on our television, but we're not doing that. Yes, so I got some questions for you. The first question is this. If the people can't trust police with guns, who do they trust? If I can't trust a police officer with a gun, who do we trust? That's an important question. Not just the police officer, The truth is that this isn't even something about just the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It's about national security. When it comes to firearms and guns and weapons that are utilized for the taking of life and mass destruction, we need to ask ourselves, are the people that are involved in these sectors, can we truly trust can we truly trust them? And can we truly trust that with the weapons that they have, they're going to utilize it in the best way possible? Guys, we're going to take a short break because I have more questions on this. And man, I think that this is such an important area for conversation. So we're going to take a short break and come right back. It's just about 33 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock here in Trinidad and Tobago. Don't worry yourself. Everything else is still stable, man. Your boy Brian the Best. The first look on Real TV. I'll see you guys when you come back.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
I am Avinash Singh, former Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. I will be hosting the next Harvest, a forward-looking agricultural TV series exploring innovation, resilience, and opportunity across the Caribbean farming landscape. Join me right here on Real TV every Wednesday at 9 a.m. with repeats. See you soon.
If your pinky can move this easily, it's a sign your brain is in great shape. Just 7-10 seconds a day of this exercise can help protect against Alzheimer's and improve brain plasticity. If your pinky can move this easily, it's a sign your brain is in great shape. Just 7-10 seconds a day of this exercise can help protect against Alzheimer's and improve brain plasticity. If your pinky can move this easily, it's a sign your brain is in great shape.
Well, I think it's a good exercise to try if you haven't. If you want to make sure that your brain is functioning well. Trust me, guys. Right on the first look, we're going to ensure that we give you a very holistic and a balanced show. But we want to ensure that you guys are taking care of your health as well. So you put your hands like this. You cross these fingers. You let your thumb and I guess you get that wedding finger together to touch, and take the pinky and you move your hand like this. That is supposed to help identify if you are, it's an exercise for your brain, and also helps to prove that your brain is functioning well. So I would say take a minute and try it. I should have get my director to come and try it. Let's make sure everything is going good as well with all in the studio here, man. So I would say go try it out. Do the exercise, make sure your brain is functioning well, because guess what, all people, they deal with Alzheimer's, and it's a really bad thing when you have to deal with memory loss. So that's just a little tip for all of yours at home. Go try it out, go check it out. I liked that when I saw that. I also had a little discovery I made, some conversation, I'm doing some research on it, talking about the parsley leaf and plant, and some of its benefits. So maybe I could get some of that information for you all tomorrow. I'm going to look at all these little healthy tips that we can have, that we can include in our day. It's very strange, and we're going to get back to our story in a short while, but it's very strange. And kudos to all of those who are big avocado lovers, right? Or as we say in our local twang, Zabuka, right? Kudos to you guys, and blessings. I, however, I'm not the biggest fan of avocados, but that's okay. That's okay. But what I do know is that I want to let you know when you do the research on the avocado, apparently there is one of the most. It says it's a superfruit, so it's a lot of potentials, a lot of things that help. It's healthy for the human body. It helps solve a lot of issues and prevents a lot of issues within your body. So if you do eat avocados, honestly, you are on the healthier side. You guys can, and this is the Caribbean. I'm very certain somebody out there is right now saying, Brandon, the only reason why you don't like avocados is because you didn't try it from me. Well, let me tell you something. I tried plenty times. It didn't work out. But I must admit that I have tried it in guacamole. It worked then. And there was one particular lady, big up to Auntie Liz, man. She put I don't know how, but she blend up the avocados in a nice saltfish bourgeois and put it in some bacon saltfish, and by the time I eat, I didn't even know it had avocados in it. It just feels buttery in my mouth. That was great. But if you give me an avocado now, and they say, Brandon boy, I brought this for you, enjoy you on the first look. I enjoy all the conversations and how you bring the information for us, and speak on behalf of the people. I would say, thank you. But better give me a newspaper, because I really don't. I don't eat avocados. But it is good for you, and I think it is something that you should probably look into, and do some research and give you guys some more information concerning that as well. All right, let's head back into this story here with with the cop and this gentleman that was with him. One of the questions that I want to ask as well, and I believe the country and the Caribbean and the world at large should want to know, is what internal controls failed. The licensing checks, the armory logs, the supervisory logs, what were the checks that failed? Not just simply what were the checks, but the real question is how. How did they fail? Because I feel like when you go to certain countries, and by no means this is to try to compare nation by nation, but I think that there's some matters that have to become stricter. So, you know, you may fly to the US and it's a very strict thing, the military, to leave with a weapon, you have to sign up for everything. It's very difficult to sneak these things outside of facilities and compounds. I mean, it's just very, very scary to know that someone who is a serving officer could walk in and walk out with these things and go ahead and carry out criminal activity. And then these guns, you don't know, they may pass onto the street. The young man is given a gun. These young teenagers are given a gun. And when they do their crimes and murders happen, and you track back where the gun shell and the bullet and the weapon came from, it's all government-issued weapons. That is a much concern. So one of the major questions is, what is the internal controls here? And how are we going to fix this problem, Trinidad and Tobago? How? Because this isn't the first time that we've heard a conversation like this. Now, granted, we are not going to take away from all the effort. We understand that, you know, change is a constant dynamic that happens within the police service. You know, different hands, different leadership. There are many things that happen along the way, especially after an election. It can create that type of change. But we need to know as a public, because we saw that they just issued a new batch of persons heading into the police service. And I mean, we wish them well, and we pray that they will continue to do the right thing as they come to represent the country. But we need to really understand what are going to be the internal checks, how we're going to have safeguards, how did it happen in the first place, but what is it supposed to be like? Because if that is the case, could I just walk into any police station and just see a Teflon vest or see a weapon or baton and just pick it up and walk out? What is the checks and balances? How did it happen? Who approved it? Is it that this person knew what alone? I don't know. If for something that's supposed to be so secure, it's hard to believe that with cameras and with that he was able to do this on his own. I don't know. Some other questions that will come to your mind is, you know, was the officer on duty in uniform and operating independently? You know, was he on duty when you took these things out? Did he operate by himself? I think the public needs to know. How many other officers are currently under investigation for firearm-related misconduct? We're going to look at some of that statistics as well. We're going to try and see if we can find that for you all as well, because as I said before earlier, this isn't the first time that we had police officers being brought up on firearm misconduct. And in a season where our country is kind of tense right now, we've seen unfortunate rise in domestic violence, right? We've had incidents with a police officer. We've had incidents with the average man. But with the access of weaponry, the access of guns, even authorized military, national security weapons are being funneled into the public space, we are now seeing the domestic violence agenda move not only to domestic violence or just abuse, but people are losing their lives. Family members are losing lives. When a police officer goes home and unfortunately, like this happens, unfortunately, it's difficult. Maybe there was an issue, maybe infidelity in the marriage, and then he takes the firearm that he's used, he is given and charged to be able to protect the country, and use it against his wife and then use it against on himself. This is something that needs to be addressed, and I think we have so many questions, and I think this is a matter of real concern. Don't worry yourself, we're going to have our conversations about Venezuela. I know that we have lots happening on the sea. The US President Trump saying that more or less he has Venezuela surrounded. We're going to look at some of the facts on that and truly understand what does that mean. And what does that mean for us right here in the Caribbean and right here in Trinidad and Tobago? Could we handle a war right now? I mean, we really have to ask ourselves, could we handle it? How is it going to impact us? You know, things are, it's Christmas, you know, guys, but a lot is happening and we just can't get away from it. And that's why you guys come right here on The First Look on Real TV. I'm your host, Brandon Best. I'll see you guys in a short while when we come back from the break.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32, Saddle Road, Maraval.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on the news, discuss social issues and current affairs with a twist. Every Monday to Friday in a real time, right here on Real TV.
I'm Smith. Have you ever wondered what a man is thinking? Have you ever wondered why a man does what he does? Well, join us on our new show called A Man's Perspective, right here on Real TV on Mondays 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., where we discuss just that. The points, the clues to get into a man's mind, right here on Real TV, bringing reality to you.
Hey, welcome back to The First Look. I'm your host, Brandon Best. You know you guys could join us here weekdays 6 to 8:30 a.m. where we give you guys real conversation, real news, real inspiration, real conversation with real people. All right, it's just about 8 minutes to the upswing of 7 o'clock. I would assume most of you are already on your way to work, probably now heading into the traffic. I want to encourage you guys to be safe out there. Send us a message or give us a call, 744-7325, if you want to chime in on our conversation. And also, I want you guys to be safe out there. It is a beautiful Wednesday, and we want to ensure that we drive into this Christmas season in style and that we have fun throughout it, guys. You'll be having the conversation concerning this bus and this security issue that I believe is a really, really important one. But I want to direct our attention. I'm going to touch this back in a short while. Dr. Amory Brown, he states that Kamala Prasad processor should be informed that our nation's airports are designed and staffed and secured for civilian use, not for use as air bases or for military aircraft or of various types for an unspecified duration. Such aircrafts carry a wide range of ammunition and explosive that will not be disclosed to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, but will now be transiting our airspace, flying over our houses and landing on our soil. Are we prepared for accidents and incidents? Have you communicated with the thousands of people who live in proximity to these airports? Has the safety of our civilian and cargo aircraft been considered? And to what extent have the emergency and the fire facilities in Crown Point and Piaco been upgraded and prepared for military contingencies? For the past 6 months, the Prime Minister has refused to properly address the nation on her regional policies and ongoing contributions to a regime change war. But instead, she has defined her governance by using messages. This is some of the comments coming out from Dr. Amory Brown concerning the landing and the utilization of our airspace for the U.S. with their aircrafts in the country. Listen, we need to be able to have a conversation with the Prime Minister so we can get better clarity on this conversation. And I think it is important questions that are being asked here. And I think the public and the region at large would want to know because there are some things that I believe could be put in place. Considering that, I don't know if any of you have experienced it. I think recently we were driving on the highway and we saw this aircraft pretty low flying, and I think it seemed as though it didn't look like an aircraft that was transporting people, but it was low. Are there any safety concerns that we should be aware of as a public? Should people be relocated, those who live close to the airport, and those spaces that are being utilized by the U.S., are there supposed to be any measures in place? Are there relocation measures? What are they? Should they be communicated with and informed as to how to move? If something were to happen, they may be first in line, and their space and their territory and their livelihoods may be the first to be impacted. I think there are some questions that we need to ask, and I think we do want to ensure that we do get a conversation with the Prime Minister so that we can better understand this development and how it impacts us as a society. Also, Dr. Brown also mentioning, the incidents and accidents. Yesterday we would have showed you guys a clip of how one of the aircrafts almost collided with a JetBlue plane. And I think that these are very important because people are moving in and out of the country, getting ready. This is the Christmas season. We're excited. This is celebration time. Some persons don't always stay right here in this country, but some persons are ready to head out. The song says, "I'm dreaming of a white Christmas." So, some persons want to go in the snow. They want to head out and enjoy time with their family. But the question is now a good time? Is it safe while all of this activity is happening around our country, is it now safe for me to jump on a plane and head out, knowing that there is quite a number of planes and aircrafts and carriers that are in the airspace when for a country that is largely peaceful and, more tourist-based and tourism-based and oil and gas, not much involved in economic tensions to this degree. Is it now an unsafe season and time that we're living in? A lot more needs to be given to the public, I must admit. And I want to be fair to the Prime Minister, and I want to be fair to the government, to give them the opportunity to bring clarity to the public, because I think that they should be able to help us in understanding what exactly is going on out there. There's so much that's being reported. I mean, before we took the break, I did mention that the U.S. President Donald Trump is stating that he has Venezuela surrounded. Is this an intimidation tactic? Is this a setup for an attack? Are we informed? Was our Prime Minister informed? Was a conversation had? What happened? What is happening? We just want to know, because we live here. Do we need to, as they say, pick up your Georgie bundle? Do we need to go to different places? What is the current state? And we don't want to put the public in any form of fear, but we truly need to get answers. And I think that the one way that we're able to ensure that we don't feel too pressured and too afraid is when there's clarity of information. So I look forward to having conversations with the Prime Minister and those that are involved in having the intelligence behind these operations, understanding very well there may not be things that they can share. We respect and we understand that, but we need to know what is going to be the impact on our country, on our nation, those who live close to these bases, the base that the weaponry that they just placed down in Tobago. We need to know what's happening and how it impacts the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I think nothing is wrong with asking these questions, because guess what? The people themselves have these questions in their hearts and in their mind. And I think once we answer them, they would feel a lot more secured. Guys, we're heading straight to the top of the hour. Get ready to jump into our next hour and give you guys more information, more news, and some more light stuff. It's celebration time. It's Christmas time here in Trinidad and Tobago. Just a couple days to go again, Christmas is right around the corner. Director, I hope you buy a Christmas gift already, because I'll do it. I will tell you what I want to get for Christmas. Guys, we're going to take a short break. This is the first look. You guys are on Real TV, weekday 6 to 8:30 a.m. I'm your host, Brandon Best. I'm going to see you guys when we come back.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
Hey, welcome back to the first look right here on Real TV. I'm your host, Brandon Best. And guys, you know, a couple of developments in our country, a couple of stories around. I want to just touch on something here. The question that is being asked is, okay, what has been the update since May 2025? All right, in the UNC's manifesto, they did promise that within the next 5 years, there would be a 50% reduction in serious crimes through a comprehensive overhaul of policing, gun targeting, and criminal justice reform. And I really saw that in the manifesto in particular, they would have stated a lot of different aspects to the reform in the prison system, and we do look forward to some of those things. But I wanted to highlight something, because the truth is that you may not actually know some of the facts behind it. While we are still waiting a more comprehensive report, just yesterday and I think earlier in the week, we were having a conversation where Police Officer Tom, he was giving the assurance to the public that Port of Spain is still safe. This came after the shooting of Mr. Young Jelani in Woodbrook, but still giving us the assumption or the belief or the assertion that the country, at least with serious crimes, is safe. And I think what tends to happen in our country, it's hard. You go to social media, you see a crime-related story, you go to any part and you see so many criminal activities happening. It begs the question, is it that are we reducing crime, or is it an increase? I mean, we are living in some desperate times. People are actually going through a lot more financially than they ever had in a long time. But based on what we've seen thus far, is that the police murder homicide rate in some divisions have actually reached the lowest monthly tally in years. Based on some of the reporting, you have like 22 homicides in just August 2025. That's this year. That's the lowest it has ever been since 2015. So, I mean, while we may not know all that the government is doing, clearly there are some things that is happening and that is being done right, because there actually has been a reduction in murder homicides rates in some divisions, which is really good news. It's really, really good news. The TTPS also released media indicating that there's a strengthened intelligence-led operations focusing on robberies and street crimes. I think, in particular, that's where we need a lot of focus as well. Just the other day, we saw the report of the businessman who was robbed, literally on Rising Road, or at least what was reported, $100,000 in cash. And I mean, in this country, people have to be so skillful. I assume him trying to be as discreet as possible, putting the money in his bag so that people don't know what he's carrying. But clearly someone knew. I think one of the areas in particular we really need to ask the government to look into is that financial privacy area. Because how could a businessman walk into a bank, take out $100,000 and be targeted and robbed of it the day that he goes to the bank? It's very, these things are strange. The question is, who do we trust? Is it that someone inside of the bank is reporting this? Are there people who come to the bank just to monitor people? Does that mean that, I know that, for example, there was a season some years ago where, like in First Citizens Bank, they used to have, if you had a certain value of money, you used to go behind, a little doorway desk. Now it's an open policy. So everybody sees everybody. And private banking is, for a more top-tier class of a person. While I understand, everyone has to run their business that way, I think the safety of our economy is really important, especially where the public is concerned. So just a couple of questions as it relates to, when I go to the bank, am I safe? who is making those calls to these criminal elements out in the street? Is it the banker? Is it the security guard? You know, is it the cleaner? Is it the bank manager? How would you know that I literally came out of the bank with $100,000? And it was so timed well. They followed him, they knew where he was going, and then they were able to take advantage of the situation. And it's such a sad one, because as a business owner, being able to lose that cash, you never know, he may have been on his way to pay workers, and not only him being distraught, but even those that he, you know, may have had to pay on the day, and, you know, creating a ripple effect. But that being said, according to reports thus far, the UNC seems to be on a track with their crime plan just 8 months in, and we have actually seen the lowest homicide rates since 2015. We have seen strengthened intelligence from the Trinidad and Tobago government. But the one that I think is the most, the touchiest and has been one in our space recently has been the Stand Your Ground law that has been put in place, and the FATF compliance frameworks that could support crime and financial crime reductions. Let's just talk a little bit, because the truth is that I know a lot of people are really excited to have this law passed with the Stand Your Ground bill to ensure that, you know, people can take forceful and even lethal action towards those who trespass within their home. I guess the delivery of the Prime Minister when she was in opposition may have come across a bit, you know, a bit stronger. But I think, you know, by them having enough debates and conversation and the policy now being passed, we do hope that it's really a matter for the citizens more than the government. I think the government here has literally just given the opportunity for the public to try to protect themselves. It means now that persons can be able to go ahead and apply for their licensed firearms, especially business owners, but also to be able to stand your ground within your household and even in your business place when people try to come in and invade that space. We have seen, however, a couple of reports of home invasions, and hopefully this bill encourages persons to be able to protect themselves. The question, however, is how much is too much? How far is too far? Are we as a people, are we ready for these type of laws? There are examples of countries, or at least states within the United States, where gun laws and stand your ground laws, they function very fine. Actually, if you look at places like some parts of some states like Oklahoma, and there's some parts of there where you have almost everybody that has a right to carry a weapon, some form of it or the other. But in some of those places, it's also not as vicious. Also, they would, however, have the instances where they would have their 1 or 2 mass shootings, but largely you're going to see that they know how to carry about themselves when it comes to the use of, you know, protecting themselves, having weapons in the home, even as it pertains to the education of this. If I want to be able to protect myself as a citizen, what are the measures that if as a father, what are the measures do I have to put in place in my home? Yes, I want to protect my home, but I have to protect my home from the things that I would have as well, the weapons that I may use to be able to protect my family. What are those measures that we're putting in place? And what's the education to the public so that we can help those parents put things in a way that they can safeguard even their family, their children from interfering and playing. We know in the past, we have seen, I think just last year, we had a report of a young child utilizing a weapon and then unaliving themselves, you know, playing with it, not knowing what would be the long-term damage that they could be, you know, they can encounter. And so there's a lot of things that we need to discuss, but the law is in fact and indeed passed. So we do hope it provides a deterrent for those who may want to come into people's homes and to create havoc and to cause mischief. We pray that it is really a deterrent rather, sorry. But I think that this is something that we need to look at. Even a couple of questions that I think I would want to ask the government is what specific actions taken by this government directly correlates with crime statistics that we have today. So I think it'd be good so that we can get more clarity as to where we are at with our crime plan, exactly on a broader scale. If we could get some data on that from the government, that would be useful to help the public feel a little bit more safe and understand where we're at. Because we want to be able to we have to hold our leaders accountable to what they stated and they promised. And so far, we have seen positive work coming out of the government of today, and we've seen a good move in the direction of crime, especially the homicide rates being reduced, intelligence being put in place, and also some measures for financial crimes also being put in place as well. So we want to get some more information on that and see how that's heading. Guys, we're going to take a short break and come right back. This is The First Look. I'm your host, Brandon Best, right here on Real TV. See you soon.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
This holiday, taste the season with Zoe and Nevi's Punch de Creme. Try our signature flavors, Holiday Gold, rich, creamy, and made for that classic Christmas taste. Festive Roast, smooth, bold coffee blended with that Caribbean holiday sweetness. Midnight Cocoa, chocolate lovers, this one's for you, indulgent and silky. And Twilight Mocha, the perfect mix of cocoa and coffee in every sip. Whether you're hosting, liming, or gifting, we've got you covered. Order now for delivery, pickup at select locations. Message us on Instagram at Zoe Nevi Products or WhatsApp us to place your order today. Zoe and Nevi Products, bring home the spirit of the holidays.
Hey guys, welcome back to the first look right here on Real TV. I'm your host Brandon Best. It's just about 19 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. That means that you guys are on the road. A little bit of traffic right now, I'm certain, but I am hoping that you're on your way to work. That the kids are at their Christmas camps or by their family. Thank you to all of our grandmothers and grandfathers who will also be taking up that role to watch children during this Christmas season. The aunts, the uncles, the friends, the neighbor that is there to support the families. But to you guys on the road and heading out to work right now, we want to make sure we take you guys in fine style. With me on the line, I have a woman that has been very instrumental in the work within this country and around the world. Many of you guys also in the region would know her well. She is the founder of Is There Not a Cause? A very good, close person to me. We have on the line Mrs. Avenel Hector Joseph. Mrs. Avenel, how are you doing? Good morning to you.
I'm good. Tired, huh? Tired. Very tired.
I can imagine. I know that you're a woman that is always busy. You're always active, and you always see the need to help people when there's for everything. I think you're probably one of the most. I don't think I've ever seen you sit down. If there's one thing, you're always active.
There's always something to do, and unfortunately, the needs of human beings on the spectrum, as Maslow put in the hierarchy of needs. And then we as Christians, I'm a believer, and you add to that the spiritual aspect. So Maslow have to think about 7 things, and then you add the spiritual component. I'm not sure if he includes that detail. So that'll be about 8 needs. So it's there not a cause, it's not that we seek to try to meet those needs in whatever way that we can. Because we see what happened when there's a deficit in any of those needs, as recent as Friday before last. Well, just Friday going here. We buried one of our young people. So we're just busy doing what we have to do. And you've been a part of the process too.
Definitely. And I will definitely support and continue to support everything that ITNAC has, because I believe in what you do, and I thank God for all that you're doing. And now, the reason why we have you on the line today is that we saw an article here in the Newsday, and it spoke to something that I believe the public should really understand that is happening in our economic land space right now. The Newsday had a conversation with you concerning the rise in the need for help.
Yes.
You stating in the article that you already have more or less a clientele of people who reach out to you every Christmas for help, but this year seems to be of a greater impact. Tell us a little bit about what it is like on the ground, what's the temperature of the ground, are families in need, what's going on? Tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Well, basically, most people might know we are ITNAC. Is There Not a Cause? So people know us when there's a disaster. We respond. Right now, we heavily invested in Jamaica. I'm heading there for Christmas. I've been there 3 times since the hurricane. All the disasters that has happened in the last 23 years, we are very active. What some may or may not know, and you've been a privilege to be a part of that. You visited our properties. We have a number of properties throughout Trinidad and Tobago that we house people who are homeless or for maybe for a protracted period, or persons who have been recently evicted. So like last time we got a call from someone, there's a young lady who just got put out. A lot of women now find themselves in situations where, they went by a friend to stay, right? And when they go by the friend now, the friend after a while, the friend tell them, listen, you gotta give it up. Right? Or you have to leave. Some give it up, some call us and say, listen, they don't want to get that, they just need a place to stay. So we provide what we call emergency and transitional housing. What we've seen in the last year, the last 2 years, I would say, is an incessant increase of people calling us. The last incarnation of social development ministry would call us all the time. We would get calls from the fire services. People show up at fire stations, Brandon, in Trinidad and Tobago, women, because they just have no place to go. They look, and they show up at police stations. I remember a police sergeant, he was not sergeant, he was an inspector, calling me. He was so broken. Some called very critical, high, and called for station X, Y, and Z. I have a mother here with 3 children, and they have no place to go, and we got your number, whatever. But this particular officer, he called and he was so broken. You know, he was saying that, you know, he has this woman here, he had to go, just he really doesn't know what to do. He can't just keep her in the station and he says it. So we have those kind of calls more and more and more. Persons who can't pay their rent, landlords go the distance with them, and after a while, 2-3 months, there's some landlords that, you know, there was one landlord, she made it plain. The day you don't pay your rent, because that person's rent is due on the 15th. Yeah. If you don't pay your rent, you have to leave that same day, or by the next day. She's not giving you any grace. And like yesterday, we had a situation like that. Thank God somebody from Tobago sent the money and paid because the person doesn't have a consistent job and they really try. So we have those. Then you had back to school situations, August. We've been doing back to school for 22 years, 23 years.
Yeah.
There was an increase, again, persons who didn't have jobs, persons who have jobs. We have a phenomenon in Trinidad. You see, Trinidad is for some reason now waking up. Yes, the CPEP and the URP has exacerbated whatever, but we've been having a crisis for a long time. And persons like myself, not only me, we have been trying to sound the alarm. We have a working poor problem in Trinidad. What is that? People who, after they get paid and maybe they pay their rent, they can't even, they last week, and we laugh at it. It's part of our culture. You have your trust week. You don't have no money in the last week of work. Some people don't go to work. People who can't buy food because, you know, they can't buy food, they choose which day, or they send their children to school sometimes just because they know that at least the child would get a meal. So over the years, when people say things like that, and Trinidadians, we cannot decide. So some people say, oh, you're going all over the world and you're helping people. But you have poor people here and you're helping them, which is not true. Then there's a next set of people that say, boy, you don't have poor people here, but whoever poor want to be poor, you could always get a little something. People don't know people's reality. If I'm a single mom and I have 2-3 children and the daycare is expensive, sometimes what I work for is less than what if I'm a minimum paid worker. I can't afford to pay the daycare and still go to work and stuff. So those are the realities. And if those persons are increasing our phones, people have been coming to the office just last night. You know, we just trying to figure out what to do because people have already been coming. Every Saturday, every year we go to Palo Seco. This year, our Youth of Purpose, they are taking it over and they're also doing it in tribute to their friend Sean who ended his life about 2 Sundays ago. Wow. And so we go into Palo Seco Sunday, right? And these people, they look forward to this every Saturday, right? There's a level of poverty that exists in Palo Seco, which is in the oil belt, which should not be. But we're not ready for that conversation. So our young people, they're looking to get 125 hampers. That's just for Palo Seco alone. Right? And we are not counting the persons who are calling us. I mean, I will be in Jamaica for Monday, but I have to make sure I put things in place because I know all up to Christmas Eve, people are going to be calling our team members.
You know, I want to jump in here. I want to jump in here, Mrs. Avenel, because I mean, firstly, let me say thank you so much for the work that you guys have been doing at ITNAC, and I know you represent one of many bodies as well that are doing and putting their hands to the plow, and I feel as though, you know, we don't get the opportunity to recognize the work that you guys enough. And I think if the country hears a lot more of the stories that happen behind the scenes, maybe we'd be a lot more compassionate and maybe even a lot more sensitive to the environment or the landscape of our country. You know, I had a conversation earlier in the week speaking about this being the hardest Christmas ever. It was a question, not necessarily a statement, but based on what you were saying and based on the trend that you've seen throughout this year, I mean, I know you're not an economist, but you are on the ground watching what is happening with people, seeing that the cost of living is much higher. People who even are working can't afford. What do you expect to see, as you said, moving into Christmas? Do you think that this really, really is the hardest Christmas yet for our country? Or is it just that, you know, okay, they're just people who are under pressure, or this is really, really a crisis that we are in?
Okay, I don't know that it's going to be the worst Christmas. I'm 54 years. So I've lived through the hardness of the 80s, just prior to 1986. I've lived through things like negative lists, where you couldn't get apples or you couldn't get Kellogg's cornflakes or anything like that because foreign exchange and the country's in such a bad state that the government then limited, I believe pre-86, because we've had a PNM government from 1956 to 1986, 30 uninterrupted years. And some seem to have selective memory. I don't. I remember that clearly because my father was in the construction industry, and the economy really was in a mess. So those were hard Christmases, and we only got apples and grapes around the Christmas, right? Of course, there was no social media to complain, and people, I think, we were probably a bit more content. You just did the best with what you have. I am not sure if these statisticians would tell me that maybe there were less people. I'm not sure if how our population was, say, back then. But I've seen some hard Christmases. We had a very, very hard recession when oil, whatever happened with oil. This one, there's so many dynamics that's creating a hard Christmas. It's a whole different dynamics. It's going to be a different hard. God forbid we wake up. We have, how much days? We have 9 more days before Christmas. And we're based on what's happening in the geopolitical space. And we never had an influx of Venezuelans like this before. We never had this kind of trending stuff that's also causing the economy to contract. That's also creating a spirit of fear and uneasiness. Or if people are not into the spiritual dynamics, as we as Christians, we see there's a spirit of fear. But let's put it so that the average person can understand. We've never had this level of social anxiety before, okay? So it's a different Christmas. Whether or not it's the hardest or not, which can be debated, it's definitely ever, because people thinking, boy, look, any minute now, thing can happen, and what would that mean for us if I give them a Christmas shop, The truth of the matter is, right, if certain things happen, and even if you have the money and you can't go shopping because whatever, so there's a lot of anxiety, that exists in this space, right? So it's a very different Christmas. It is hard. To say it is the hardest, I can't say, but I know it's a very different, because we've never had to deal with this kind of stress. You understand? So when you add all the other social issues, right, it's a very different one. And you have these thousands of people who have been on the breadline, who are already person, right? It's not like executives lost their job, like you fire a board of a company director, right? So these people were already, we must remember that these people were already living, most of them, paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah.
And right? And now there's no support for them yet, right? I don't know how many of them has so far maybe been able to tap into any kind of social support. I don't know if any of them were able to get public assistance or any kind of social support, food cards, whatever. I don't know. So how are these people living? So that's a dynamic that we've never had before.
So true.
So let's just say somebody might argue that maybe 20 years ago there was no piece of how they were living. But the fact is that we now have these people on the breadline, and we must consider ourselves, because there are thousands and thousands of our citizens, right, that are in a situation that is just beyond their help. I'm not getting into the politics of it. I'm not getting into where the government made a good decision because of all the leakages of the program and who was really benefiting from it. Whatever scraps they were getting on, that's what they had. And now they don't even have that. If you're somewhere in your Ivy Tower, say, well, that's a small, insignificant salary. It's their salary. So you add all of these things to the mix, the fear, the uneasiness. And we are here now. They say when elephants fight, ants tremble. Ants are trampled. So right now, whether we like it or not, where we sovereign, So we know blah 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 blah. Yeah, we know. But in the wider scheme of things, we really have no control except we pray and we trust God and we continue to do that. If the D or the M, whatever actions they take, we in the middle, right? And it's going to affect us one way or another.
I really appreciate that, and I really take your contribution as well to heart. You know, right before we wrap, I wanted to ask you one more thing, or two questions in particular. I know you said that you're heading to Jamaica soon, and we know that since Hurricane Melissa, you know, the dynamics in Jamaica has been still rough. I don't know what it's like right now. I know you've been on the ground back and forth. You could probably just give us a little update and what Jamaica is also facing, especially as we have Jamaican audience right here. Probably would want to know, you know, how they could contribute. And also, let us know right here at Trinidad and Tobago, how could we support you, ITNAC, because the work that you guys are doing is phenomenal, and we want to ensure that we not only are people that talk about the issues, but that we get involved with it so that we can also assist as well.
Okay, so Jamaica's gonna take a long while. Save and accept the mercies of God, do something really fast and quick to get back. The communities that we have been in, a lot of the people were very poor anyway. Again, disasters affect people differently. So let's take a quick look at what happened in Trinidad and Tobago a couple months ago. There was a tornado hitting West Trinidad.
Yep.
For some strange reason, I believe by divine intervention, if you know the western area, the Martin West is an unusual constituency. There's a whole catchment of a very rich area, and then you go into the poor communities. By the mercies of God, I'm not saying any reason why. I'm just stating what happened. I'm not spiritualizing it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what happened. The tornado hit, like when you go into Carnage, it stopped just before where the poor people are, or the lower income houses are. Okay? Yeah. And on the other side, when it's going into the Martin, it stopped around Victoria Gardens. Had it gone further to say La Puerta, where you have a lot of people on the hills and lower income persons, or go lower into Carnage, I would have been devastated. In no time at all, those people, and we're not mad, bless God, they were able to fix their roof, tap into their insurance, their community, and get themselves back up.
Yeah.
Had that happened in Trinidad, in the lower part of the West, heading further down into Carnage, or beyond head, on the other side, heading to the Martin, the story would have been different. Why people would not have had insurance, people would have the capacity to bounce back, and the state would have had to come in and do, and other organizations like that. Your financial state allows you to bounce back from a disaster.
Yeah.
So that when you're poor or low income, you have a disaster. So a lot of people add that. Well, I saw in the news yesterday, the Prime Minister gave some land titles, because a lot of the people, they didn't have land titles. So for the most people in those poor areas, their house didn't just lose a roof. Like there's the only thing flat, the only thing there is the ones who had concrete floor. You can go and see where the concrete was. So like their whole community is just flat. Or if they only had wooden floor, but everything gone. Wow. So they're literally starting from the ground up. We have given up, we've sent in two 40-foot containers. We purchased over 1,200 food bags on the ground in Jamaica. In addition to all these food in fed container, we set up 2 shops for people so that, you know, the micro enterprises in the community, because we stimulated and start back and people could get things. We have homes that we are earmarked to build, and then also we're doing a project for 16 homes in a place called Beeson Spring. So we are doing our part, but it's a long journey, and you know, I pray that a lot of NGOs, they do a 90-day cycle, some even less, but we know it takes more than 90 days to get people back up. So we're working with specific companies, communities, so that we can measure our work and our impact. And then we have a network through Response Caribbean, which is like a grassroots CALCOM,
okay,
a grouping of people from all over the region. So we're putting our hands together, and the local Response Jamaica, networking with them. They will receive the containers, and we're going to do another container early in the new year, even though the Jamaica government has only given just about maybe 2 months, very short tax free. Other countries gave to the end of the year, but then they probably had their hurricane, maybe say in August or September. So even though the government gives you until the end of the year, you have a long window. So we had a short window to deal with a huge population. Jamaican population is nothing like Dominica or anywhere there. It's so many times that the landmarks, everything. So we trust in the Lord for favor. We asking people, not to become weary in giving and doing. Well, I remember last year during Beryl or some one of the disasters, about 2 months after, somebody came to our office and they said, "What you doing?" I say, "Well, we do X, Y, Z for the hurricane." The person's response was, "People still need help, or they're still doing that." And it lets me know, Brandon, that a lot. I mean, you went to Bahamas with us in February after the thing that happened in December, and you saw that people still came for food, people still had need. So a lot of times maybe ignorance, now we don't want to know, but a lot of people just don't know that it's not just putting some hampers together or putting zinc. Whole communities have been affected. The whole socio-dynamics, people moving all over by the auntie, the uncle, and people just trying to find a way. So it's a very dark situation. We are going to be there on the ground for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We have 3 days, 3 sessions where we're doing cooking traditional Jamaican Christmas food, curry goat and stuff, and chicken and fish and rice and peas, and just loving on the people. When I thank Divine Destiny, that's a church, and they go there selling red toys for us to carry. So that's what we're doing. But Trinidad and Tobago, we are making the appeal. We bring rezoning and home here. We need at least 200 hampers, and that's very moderate, right? At least 200. 125 alone going to Palo Seco. We need at least 200 hampers. It's like about $150 to get a decent one. We try to buy hams. So we need your help. We need your support. Call us 394-2042, 394-2042, or 735-HOPE. 735-HOPE. Call and let us come together to help our fellow men. On Christmas Day, Brandon, we go out and we drop bread and ham and pastels and sweet bread and whatever we get. We deliver it to persons who, and sometimes we go to these homes, we carry a toy. And this is all that these people. So whatever you can do, please do it. Thank you in advance.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Afnan Hector Joseph from Is There Not a Cause. Guys, you heard it right here. You guys could support. They're looking for 200 hampers or $150 per hamper. We want to be able to support it. You can give them a call as well. Reach out to Is There Not a Cause. They're getting ready to head over to Jamaica. As they said, some of the community in particular that was impacted was a part of the poorer of the economy. As such, their rebuilding time is going to take a longer time. So people are in need. And right here, having that conversation, so much gems and nuggets coming out of it, because it's not just only that it is our hardest season, but it is probably one of a season that is very overwhelming with the dynamics that are playing out in the space and in our waters and inside the island as well. A lot to consider. We need to be kind. We need to be our brother's keeper. And if you have the time and you want to be able to get more involved, go check out Is There Not a Cause online. Connect with them and try your best to be a support. Let's do better in this country. Let's see if we can end the year on a positive note. Mr. Afnan Hector, maybe if on Christmas Day that I have some time and with the Real TV crew, we can probably roll with you guys and go give out some stuff as well. I want to thank you so much for your time this morning as well.
Okay, man. Blessings and thanks again.
No problem at all. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be heading straight to our break. Don't forget, this is the first look right here on Real TV. I'm your host, Brandon Best. You guys stick and stay. We're going to be right back. I'll see you guys very soon.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated, provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Are you reliable, self-motivated, a good communicator, and experienced in sales? Then Good Price Wholesalers is the right opportunity for you. We are looking for individuals to join our sales team in Central and South. Applicants must have their own vehicle, sales experience, good communication skills, and a strong work ethic. If you're ready to be part of a committed and professional team, we want to hear from you. Visit us at number 5 La Pastora Road, Santa Cruz, or call 338-9884 for serious inquiries.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601, email info@cssl-tt.com, or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on the news, discuss social issues and current affairs with a twist. Every Monday to Friday in a real time, right here on Real TV.
just about 11 minutes, the upswing of 8 o'clock. That means that you guys are in the heat of that traffic out there, the hustle and the bustle heading to your workplaces. I'm your host, Brandon Best. You guys are on the first look on Real TV. This is the morning show, guys. We give you all the information. A pretty good interview there. I want to say thank you going out to Mrs. Avenel Hector Joseph from Is There Not a Cause, who gave us such insightful information. Now, let me tell you something. We need to really pay attention to this conversation that she just had with us, because in our country, we don't know just how many people are going through. Your neighbor right next door may be in a crisis and you don't know. And she said with the way that the geopolitical world is happening, there are some economic pressures that are also happening in this particular period and in this particular Christmas. You know, things are harder. Boards, you know, state boards would have persons who have lost their jobs, executives, persons who would have probably still lived paycheck to paycheck because the cost of living has been still kind of high within the country. You know, and then losing their jobs. You have even those who have high professions looking for work. The job market being, jobs are available, but not everybody's going to get them, because there are now so much people that are in need of jobs and are looking for work. It's a different time. And then with the instability of what's happening on our shores, then we also have, well, and there's there's no way that we can blame them, but we have an influx of Venezuelans within our country who we have already welcomed, and we know we consider as our friends and family and brothers. But also, you know, you can't get away from businessmen being able to get them to do probably cheaper labor, which has probably taken away some jobs, even from those who would have recently lost jobs. You know, it is a dynamic that is very, very it's weird. It's a different time and era that we're in. And all of these are contributing factors to what is making this Christmas seem the way that it is. But some interesting conversations that she had, things that we need to pay attention to. And I think we'll also bring her back to have more conversations and even deal with some, when it comes to the gender-based unit, to see how we can help people in need. We had the conversation about the single mother being put out, or even if they were asking for help for her and her family, you know, being asked to do particular favors that we know would have been inappropriate. This is the culture and this is the landscape that we're in some spaces. And it's very unfortunate that people have to go through this. It's very unfortunate that people right now, so many people right now, are unable to pay their rent, and this is where they have to live. What could we do? How could we come together? How could we support ITNAC and all that is happening? Because guess what? Sitting on the sideline doesn't make it better. So it's better we just put our hands to the plow and see how we can help. You know, as she stated, I did have the opportunity to go with them to Bahamas when they went to do some relief work over there just about 2 years ago. And we did a lot of work. So I can definitely state that what they do at Is There Not a Cause is amazing work. So let's continue to encourage them, and let's see how we can be in part of all that is good within our country. Some events happening, you know, in our country. This weekend in particular, the 19th to 20th and the 21st, you have Believe, a pop star Christmas. That's happening on Friday 19th December 2025. It's going to be running for the 3 days. On the 19th, it starts at 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The 20th, 7:30 to 9 p.m. And on Sunday, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So if you're looking for a Christmas show to attend, you can head down to Queen's Hall. You probably should get your tickets now, because if there's anything I know about John Thomas in particular, is that he tends to put this show out very early. So you probably want to head down to Queen's Hall's box office and get your tickets now. But there are events happening for you over the weekend that is coming. Last weekend, we had a very popular group, the Lydians. They presented the Child Father. That was our Saturday 13th and 14th. So if you went out there and you saw that, I hope it was an enjoyable one for you. Lots of events, lots of activity happening within our country, and I want to encourage you guys to go out and participate. If you're into the pan, if you're into parang, whatever you're doing, make sure you do something to ease your mind. I'm not just letting you guys go to events because I want you guys to just smile, but I want to ensure that you're doing something that is good and healthy and put some ease, because it is a stressful time, but we're going to make it through. And it's good to have a little fun. It's good to enjoy ourselves. It's good to go places where we could see the talent of our country displayed and just have a good and great one. Yeah, so much things happening within our country. I see here an article to touch on our first conversation with the Carney bus. We have an ACP Richard Smith. He's talking about his displeasure and sadness over the police officer that was arrested. I'm going to give you guys this particular article when we do come back from the break. Pretty interesting stuff that we have here. The ultimate soca champion is in limbo. It says that the organizers of the Ultimate Soca Champion, introduced in 2025 as a replacement for the defunct Soca Monarch competition, are nervously awaiting feedback from the government ahead of Carnival 2026. Well, we know since the change of government, quite a number of things has been cut. Even the use of some facilities have been cut off, so I can understand the nervousness right now in this season. The competition was noticeably missing from the National Carnival Commission 2026 calendar of events released on December 16. Responding to queries from Newsday, Ultimate Soca Champion CEO Jerome Rome Priscilla said, "We have formally written to the Honorable Minister of Culture, Michelle Benjamin, and the National Carnival Commission requesting a meeting to discuss the status of the Ultimate Soca Champion competition for 2026. To date, we are still awaiting an official response." In a written statement, Rome said the organizers were fully prepared to move forward with the competition. Ultimate Soca Champion 2025 was a strong success, and the response from artists has been overwhelming. Many performers have already been reaching out, expressing their excitement and eagerness to be part of the 2026 edition. He said that organizers are mindful of the country's challenges, economic circumstances, and are more willing to sit with Benjamin and NCC to explore practical and sustainable ways in which the competition can be executed within the current climate. Well, let's see and let's hope that they do in fact get a sit down with the Honorable Minister of Culture, Mrs. Michelle Benjamin, and the NCC, because this is a part of our culture. So let's see if we can get the Ultimate Soca Champion back up for 2026. I know a lot of artists are probably looking forward to being a part of the competition, getting themselves enrolled, having the opportunity to try to win a cash prize, or being able to build their brand and notoriety. And I think that it's good. So let's see how this develops and plays out before the end of Christmas, and then we would know if we do have, in fact, Ultimate Soca Champions this season. Well, guys, we're going to get ready to head to our break. We're running straight into the top. When we come back, we're going to go straight into our last half. Well, this has been a wonderful morning thus far. A beautiful Wednesday here in Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you guys are, Jamaica, St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Kitts, Barbuda, Antigua, we just want to say a hello, good morning to you guys. We're going to take a short break and come right back. We're all just about a minute away from 8 a.m. If you're on the road, get to work safely. We'll see you guys soon in a short while.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budusing Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So, whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
Hi, I'm Steve Stanker, Transformational Life Coach. Join me on Elevate with Coach Steve as we transform your mindset, build mental and emotional resilience, and help you rise into your best self. Every Tuesday from 9 a.m. right here on Real TV. Let's elevate together.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 2926470 or WhatsApp us at 3847142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Hey, just about 2 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock here in Trinidad and Tobago. Guys, welcome back to the first look. I'm your host, Brandon Best, right here on Real TV. In some light news, guys, we've had the missing hunter, Mr. Paul Campo. He has been found alive after going missing in the Guayaguari forest over the weekend. So we are grateful, we are thankful, Mr. Paul Campo. We're happy to have you with us, man, and it's good to know that you're found and that you're safe, and I'm certain that your family is excited to know that you're back home safely. Guys, this is good news, and you know, we have to talk with the whole Hunters Association, because they usually do a lot of good work in helping us find the people, and this has been some great news that has been brought to the table as well. You know, I wanted to go back to the conversation that we had this morning. I want to give you guys a little bit about this this article that was brought by the Newsday. It says ACP Richards, head of the anti-extortion unit, and in particular, this is also where the police officer, this is the unit that he is from as well, who was a part of the drug bust, all right? Said it was a sad state of affairs to see one of its members arrested and charged for gun offenses. A media release from the TTPS on December 16th identified PC Kushal Karamat Singh as the officer charged with gun offenses stemming from a December 10th incident aboard a boat on the Caroni River. Mr. Kushal was charged with transferring his Glock 48 pistol, transferring 10 rounds of 9mm ammunition, possession of 3 12-gauge cartridges, failing to have his firearm user's license when carrying his legal firearms and ammunition in a public place, not being authorized to keep, and the improper use of a TTPS shotgun, and not being authorized to keep 5 TTPS 12-gauge cartridges. Civilian Ramjit Ramlochan was arrested along with Mr. Kuchal and charged with possession of the officer's Glock 48 pistol and ammunition. Kushal was granted bail with surety in the sum of $175,000, while Ramlochan was granted bail with the surety of $120,000. Both men are expected to appear in court today to answer respectively to the charges. Speaking with Newsday on December 16th, Smith described the incident as a sad state of affairs, but said the unit continues to operate. He called on the public to not let the incident damper their confidence in the unit, which was founded in October 2024 under former Commissioner Erla Harewood Christopher. We have worked hard to build the confidence of the members of the public. This doesn't change that. We have officers with integrity who are highly trained, and we expect members of the public to continue making reports to us. I agree with him. Definitely a sad state of affairs. But, you know, while he may ask the public to, just not be dampened, it is hard to ignore, the questions that were raised earlier in the conversation, as to how exactly this was able to happen in the first place. And I think that more information should be given. I tend to not, be too, I would say, coerced when or feel nice, or that feel good feeling when you get information coming from officials that will tell you, just keep the confidence in us. Now, we understand the work that has been done is good work. I mean, we don't want to take away all that has happened from October 2024 all the way to now from the anti-extortion unit. But you have to understand that when a sensitive group and a sensitive unit such as this, an incident like this takes place, it does call for major scrutiny and also questions, because this could have turned into probably a more problematic situation. How long has it been going on? Would have been questions the public may ask. Does anybody else in the unit know? They may not have been involved, but do they know? Were they aware? Was he independent on his own actions? These are some questions that I think bringing clarity is important, so that we can understand the true demarcation of what happened, so that we know that this was solely an independent act. But then we still have to ask the question: how did was he able to still have that weaponry and cartridges and ammunition that was unauthorized with him? And further to that, being able to still give his Glock 48 to a civilian, for a trained military professional. I think that is something that is very, very alarming. Very, very alarming. So, a lot more that we will chat on that this week as we go along. So let's hope to get some more information on that. Just to give you guys a little bit of the weather, what this one is stated for today. It seems to be a partly cloudy morning with a few light or moderate showers, becoming mostly sunny and breezy during the afternoon, generally fair night. So, today seems to be a nice day to be outside. So I think that is good as you go through your day to have, get your work done, moving back and forth in Port of Spain. I think it should be an okay day. But if you're out in the streets, just always be mindful of your surroundings. Be careful of what you wear, because while we did get a report that we are seeing the government of today, they are increasing and doing a good job in helping with the crime reduction, we still have those elements out there. Just to give you guys some information, there was a bandits who robbed elderlies in Tobago, couple of wedding rings and the jar of coins, boy. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to understand. So bandits robbed elderly Tobago couple of wedding ring and jar of coins, boy. I mean, leave the jar of coins. If you get the wedding ring, okay. It's valuable. Maybe you don't even know. You're not certain as yet, but you got the wedding ring. You got some cash, according to the article. They were able to take a bottle filled with, well, they took the jar of coins. They took 2 Samsung cell phones, a Samsung TV, a Samsung tablet, like start a computer store, a wristwatch, $600 in cash, a still brush cutter. They take the waka to one. A wedding jewelry. The bandits then fled, leaving the couple tied up, and the man nursing injuries to the head. And I mean, this is when it gets really, really sad, because it's one thing when you go into an elderly's home and you already know that they are defenseless. But to abuse them and to hit them, I mean, I'm telling you, we as a people, I know there's some nations across the world that would be in an uproar to hear this type of information. That's the truth. And I'm not trying to inspire or invoke or spark anything, but we need to become way more protective of our elderlies and those who are vulnerable in our society, because it speaks to the lack of the human compassion and heart that you would enter to an elderly's home and that you would actually physically assault them. I mean, if you put them to sit down or even tie them up, and I'm not putting thoughts in anybody's head, but if that had happened, still there's none, I guess, aggressive, something that doesn't cause harm to their physical bodies, you know, they still would have done what they had to do. But, you know, to still harm the elderly, I think we really need to look at the psychological makeup of what's happening within our country. But I think what is so amazing is that they still took the coins too, boy. Like, I understand, you know, they did their robbery, they took, you know, they took what they have to take, but you could have leave the jar of coins. Look how long mommy and uncle putting the things together, saving up the little 25 cents. You take the smart TV, you take the wristwatch, you take the tablets, you take $600 in cash. I mean, give them a chance. You still go take the jar of coins too, boy. Let me go and see me. I go and move my jar of coins from now. This is not easy. Yes, this is. We need to do better. Tobago, let's look out for each other. The couple, they are both 89 years old, you know. Boy, oh boy. And you ask the question, what's being done to help elderly? So I can't grow old and just be comfortable, have my things, and just live nice in a nice Tobago home and relax and feel comfortable without anybody coming to invade me and to take everything plus the jar coins. But that is, it's just sad. We also had a Claxon Bay family that was robbed at gunpoint. Claxon Bay family was robbed at gunpoint in their Soledad Road home on December 15th by attackers who showed up in a car bearing false number plates. Reports said that the 49-year-old man was in his front yard around 6:20 a.m. when a gray Nissan Note pulled up and 2 masked men exited, announcing a robbery. One of the men pointed a gun at the man and forced him inside the house where his 45-year-old wife and 18-year-old daughter were and began searching for valuables. The men took cash, jewelry, and cell phones before running out of the house and escaping in the waiting car. Investigators are retrieving CCTV footage. A search revealed that the license plate fitted to the assailant's car was registered to a Toyota RAV4. Inquiries are continuing. You know, very tragic when you also have a child in the house with you at 18 years old, now starting off life. It's almost very difficult for you to forget when an experience like this happens. So, you know, I want to encourage you. We had our conversation with Avenel Hector earlier. The country is in a very, very hard point. A lot is happening and people are becoming desperate. It's already hard for those who have and for those who don't. And it's even worse when you have to encounter situations like this. So I want to tell you, spend time with your family, protect your household, secure your belongings. This Christmas, just ensure that you do everything that is possible to protect and safeguard yourself, all right? Guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to close this, tidy this up together, and get ready to head out. This is the first look, and you guys are watching Real TV. I'm your host, Brandon Best. Weekdays, 6 to 8:30 a.m. I bring you all the real information, real news, real stories with real people and real solutions. I'll see you guys soon.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, and I'm inviting you to join me for Conversations with Zalisa right here on Real TV. It's not just another talk show, it's a space for real stories, real insight, and real impact. We cover it all: health, law, parenting, relationships, drug and substance abuse, mental health, social issues, and so much more, with expert guests who help bring clarity to life's most important questions. So whether you're looking to be informed, empowered, or simply inspired, this show is for you. Weekdays at 10 a.m. with repeats on Real TV.
Hi, I'm Steve Stanker, Transformational Life Coach. Join me on Elevate with Coach Steve as we transform your mindset, build mental and emotional resilience, and help you rise into your best self. Every Tuesday from 9 a.m. right here on Real TV. Let's elevate together.
If your pinky can move this easily, it's a sign your brain is in great shape. Just 7-10 seconds a day of this exercise can help protect against Alzheimer's and improve brain plasticity. If your pinky can move this easily, it's a sign your brain is in great shape. Just 7-10 seconds a day of this exercise can help protect against Alzheimer's and improve brain plasticity. If your pinky...
They said 7 to 10 seconds, just about 7 to 10 seconds, I think, right? So do it, guys, just do it. Make sure you have that brain function. Don't worry, this week we're going to get some more tips. I want to help you guys with some meal prep tips and as we go along as well. But I find that's really good. It's good to make sure you do something. I can imagine somebody right now struggling with their finger and they're trying their best to get it done. Don't worry, Sam, you're gonna make it. I believe you can do it. But it's also to help with Alzheimer's. You know, you'll be able to give your brain working and also to test your brain. It helps to show whether or not your brain functions well, which are good. So if you can do it, well, kudos to you. You are doing well. Guys, let's just recap a little bit of all that we would have touched on today. You know, earlier we had the conversation about that article concerning the police officer from the extortion unit, anti-extortion unit, where he was reported stopped on December 10th, charged with multiple firearm-related offenses. You know, we asked quite a number of questions concerning the public and our safety, the security measures. You know, we did try to reach out to one DCP to come on this morning. Unfortunately, she was involved in operations, so we do hope to have her on within the coming days so we can discuss a little bit more about this. But, you know, really, really important conversation as well, because, I mean, just the questions that we have to ask and the questions that should be answered, not only from the anti-extortion unit, but by the TTPS on a whole. We need to get some answers, and we need to be able to protect our citizens. We also had a conversation concerning the landscape of our economy right now. This year in particular, a lot more people reaching out for help, a lot more people stating that they are in need. Is There Not a Cause founder Avenel Hector Joseph spoke with us this morning, letting us know that this has been not only due to just it being the hardest Christmas, but so much geopolitical, economic change that is happening within the landscape that has been impacting on the minds and hearts of people. So you may be someone who has been on the breadline. You have lost your job within the past couple of months, and you have been trying your best to stabilize yourself again. I want to let you know that hope is not lost. You guys can connect with ITNAC. I want to encourage our viewers across the world to please remember that, you know, everybody needs help. There's somebody going through something that you have no idea about. So we want to be able to ensure that we get that support coming forward as well. All right. I see here a small article talking about Antonio Mastre. He is the founder of the Toronto-based Parang Group and friends. He said, my childhood Christmas in Trinidad was so amazing. He said he has a lot of great memories, very nostalgic, as he reflects on growing up on St. James Road in St. Augustine. There was he was immersed in family life, tradition, and warm, sweet songs of Parang. Now 62 years old and living in Canada, has spent more than 3 decades carrying that same Christmas spirit, rooted deeply in Parang, a financial advisor by profession. He is also the founder of Guiding Force behind Toronto-based Parang Group and friends that continues to bring a taste of Trini Christmas to the Caribbean communities and abroad. Well, you know me, it's Christmas time. I want to say thank you to them and the team bringing Parang across the world. And I feel like if I was some Parang in studio right now. So we're going to see if we can get a nice Parang group. Let's enjoy ourselves, have a nice time. It's Christmas season, just about 9 days away. I can smell it, guys. I hope that you guys can smell it with me too, you know. The black cake. Oof. The ham. The turkey. Well, I am. Allow me, guys, because you know I partake in the turkey. You know, I partake in it, and you know. But if you ask me which one, the ham or the turkey, you know, I may go for the ham. But for those who don't eat ham and pork and those type of things, well, you know, you have the turkey option. You know, you have your pastel, you have your pea. So much things to eat. There's one thing about a Christmas season in Trinidad and Tobago is that there's something to eat. Boy, you can't go hungry, you know. At least not on Christmas Day. You go somewhere, somebody wants to feed you. So again, I'm just letting you guys know. You know, we on the first look, we enjoy ourselves. You know, we like to have fun. We like to connect with our people. So if you know you want us to come and parang your house, let me know. You know, we would do that. You know, I'll have the director come with his plate. I come with mine. You know, we have fun. Also, to recap, we had a conversation from the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, speaking about the fact that the U.S. they made a decision to restrict some of the U.S. visas coming out of Antigua and Barbuda. The Prime Minister stating, however, that he believes that the assertion about the islands regulations as it pertains to them persons being able to purchase their passports and citizenships, the investment program. He believes that the assertion about it is wrong, that a person must have their residency requirements involved in the process so that they can be able to get it. And as such, they have been working with the U.S. For the past couple of years and months to ensure that they are up to standard. So he feels a bit like it's, I guess, a misunderstanding and a mischaracterization of all that is happening within Antigua and Barbuda. So we do hope that that is able to be rectified soon. CARICOM Secretariat spreads holiday cheer with our annual toy drive as well. The CARICOM Secretariat is spreading festive cheer to children and young people living outside of traditional home environments in Guyana with its 2025 Christmas Toy Drive. During the initiative, Georgetown Guyana-based team members generously donated new toys or contributed towards purchasing gifts for the children. On December 10th, members of the committee delivered gifts, books and games to 2 orphanages and 2 care centers for children and vulnerable juveniles. So we see even in up the islands in Guyana, you know, we have toy drives going on. People are in a festive mood and still giving. If I were you, I would encourage you as well to do something for someone. Their homes, their young people, there's somebody who wants to be blessed. There's a hamper you could give away, call ITNAC. There's something that you can do as well. All right, guys, well, we're going to get ready to tidy this thing all together on this beautiful Wednesday. We had such a wonderful morning. I feel, for the day 3, I feel good. I feel good. I'm excited to be here with you guys weekdays 6 to 8:30 a.m. We're going to have a fun time. I just want my parang. We're going to enjoy the Christmas. Director, where you are from? Let's know if we can get some oh boy. Yes. Wherever you are right now, I want you guys to enjoy yourself. It is parang in the city, from the north, the east, and the west. Christmas is coming, just some days away, and I want you guys to have a wonderful time. Be sure to get something for the kids. Remember the elderly, children, try to get something for your parents. Have a wonderful time. You can write a love note, you could send something, you could do something sweet for somebody, but it is Christmas time. Guys, I'm your host, Brandon Best. This is the first look right here on Real TV. You guys are going to see me tomorrow from 6 to 8:30 a.m. Always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Have a wonderful one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Parang boy.
I want you more with me.